Hi, welcome to the coaching game. Look who's back for 2024. Ms. Terry Yoffe.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Happy New Year. Happy January 2nd. And
Yes, yes.
Happy New Year. I
We are.
wish everybody a very healthy and happy 2024. It's a leap year.
Yes, yes. I'm not sure what that means, but I know we get an
It
extra day.
I'm going to do my own interpretation. It's a year of good luck,
There
a
you go.
year of fruitful enterprises,
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
year of good health,
All right.
surely.
We will definitely take all that because God knows Terry and I have had our challenges in
That's
2023 and we are moving right along here. So yeah,
for sure.
let's go for it. So what we were thinking is like, well, actually, we're going to copy off the New York Times because they had this great, I don't know if it was an article or just a little snippet of thing, the best advice that people had received during 2023. And I said, oh, some of these are cool, Terry. Let's take a look and see if we can piggyback on this. So we decided we would do that rather than go, oh, that's what happened last year. These are our resolutions.
Oh, no
You
resolutions.
know, I think I think at our age we've already figured resolutions really are just something you do on New
Well,
Year's
you're
Eve.
right. However, I translate that into manifestations. No
Ah,
resolutions. What do you want to
okay.
create for yourself
Okay, I
for
like
the
that.
coming year? What's
Yeah.
going to change for you? And
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. Yeah, forget the resolution. Let's manifest. Let's make it happen. Make it happen. So anyway, so what we said we would pick out some of, and then we'll share, what we thought was probably our best advice of the year. What one spoke to you, Tara?
well, a few did.
Mm-hmm.
One that stood out because of me was something about make sure you have your health in check, right? But other than that, I think one of the things I saw that I really like is life is too short not to tell people you love them.
Yeah, I like that. I think yeah, that's a nice speaking thing for everybody, I think. Yeah. What does that mean to you?
You know, I remember having a client, and when we talked about thankfulness and gratitude, she never expressed that to the people that worked for her.
Mm,
And kind of a light bulb went off that I think, certainly being a coach, but over the last year, it's really acknowledging people and letting people know that they're being seen and being heard.
yeah,
Because so much in the corporate world that did not happen. More so now, it seems to be catching on.
yeah.
But more than ever, I think I tell my family how I feel. Um, Clients, or I belong to this group, which has been unbelievably amazing. And it's letting people know that you care. You care about them, you care for them, and kind of cheering them on.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny because I yesterday, and people were calling to wish Happy New Year and everything. And I had so many, I wanted the day to myself, and then I had so many things that I needed to get done. And yet I said, you know what? I don't want to be in debt for the year. So I'm going to pick up the call and say hello and talk to people because I don't want to have it on my list. I got to call them back. And I contacted a family member that was going through the most hellacious cruise experience that I've ever heard of. And it was his birthday. And I said, and I felt good about it afterwards because it was like, why would I put that off? Just pick it up and do what you got to do. and then get on with your life. So yeah, I hear you. It's just showing, hey, I'm thinking about you, or I'm hearing what you're saying. So yeah, that one
That's,
spoke to me
you
also.
know,
Yeah.
I would just encourage people, if it's not part of your MO, to
Mm.
really think about that. Think about reaching out to people. I go to a neurologist because I go for all kinds of things for my headaches.
Mm.
And there are three people there, three behind the desk. And I always bring them, they love sweets. And it's a way of saying thank you to
Mm.
them for what they do, and they fit me in or whatever. And they're so appreciative. Something small
Yeah.
that we don't think about, that really makes a difference. So, people, those that are listening, think about how you can incorporate thankfulness, appreciation, having somebody be seen and heard, because you don't know, that could make a difference in someone's life for a day, for a minute, whatever.
Yeah, what a great idea. You know, what a great, because yeah, it's like when you're going to like an appointment you're not really thrilled about going to, it's like you're in a kind of yucky mood, and it's like, well, why not brighten up somebody's day? I remember, Terry, you used to do that when we taped at the studio. You would bring the guys candy and they loved it. Yeah, so yeah, what a good idea to do that. Yeah.
And they appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more apt, like I called today because I really need to see the doctor. Let me see what I can do. I'll see if I can fit you in.
Wow.
But
Nice.
being a salesperson for so many years, having to work with people, and it didn't take a lot to do something to make them feel good.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot, and yeah, that was spoke to me, but you made it go a little deeper, so I really like that better. Yeah, yeah. One that spoke to me
Yeah.
is kind of like a little, okay, pay attention here. Was instead of calling someone out, call them
Uh,
in. Invite them to have a
mhm.
judgment-free conversation with the intention of promoting understanding. I spend so much time going, should I call that person out, or should I just ignore it? Or do I have to readjust my attitude, or do I have to look at it? And it's like, you don't have to do any of that. Just, what you need to say is, wow, you know what? That was a misunderstanding. What was your thinking on that? And I think that is such a valuable lesson. I'm sure I'm going to pass it on to my clients, but I think it's more important as a lesson to me. It's like, yeah, instead of wasting time, oh, how should I respond to this? Make it a partnership, It's like, well, how are we going to respond to this touchy situation? I love that one. It was like, yeah, okay, that's going to be a great reminder for me. Yeah.
That also resonated with me. And one of the things, I don't know, maybe it was by somebody speaking at a coaching conference, or maybe one of our ICF NYC
Hmm.
seminars, where somebody, and I've done this, instead of pointing the finger and saying, by the way, this is what happened, because which is what we do,
Yeah.
instead saying, so my experience,
Mm.
not theirs, yours, of the situation was that you sounded, and I did do this with my daughter one year for Thanksgiving. She was really snarky.
Mm.
And I said, I just want to go over my experience of how you spoke was a little snarky. Was that me? She said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So you're putting it on you. You're not
Yeah.
pointing the finger at somebody else. You're talking about your experience.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So that's
Often because we try to tell, it's so funny when you do the coach dance, there's so much going around in your head, and there's so much, it's like, well, you want to be You want to be forthright. You want to talk about how you're really feeling. You want to be sometimes a little aggressive because it's like, wait, I want to get my point out of here. I want to value what I'm doing. But rather than do that, I think ICF is kind of moving toward that also. Partnering, just partner with the person, instead of taking it. Yes, we definitely want to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions to people, but partner with the other person, because you're not the only person involved. Your daughter could have been having like a horrible day, or she didn't want to be around in Thanksgiving, or who knows. So it had nothing to do with you. So that's a good one too. It's
Put
yeah.
the onus on you. So
Yeah,
you're not, so it doesn't back someone into a corner, right?
yeah.
You're not backing them into a
Well,
corner.
when you back them in a corner, you're kind of shutting the door. But when you partner with them, it's like the door is open. Let's see if we can work this out. Yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. What was another one that
Oh, goodness,
spoke to you?
let me look.
There were so many good ones, and
There were
we kind of feel guilty about cheating, but not really. It was good advice, and we want to pass it on. So why not?
another one that really spoke to me was boundaries.
Yeah, I had that one checked too. Yep, yep.
Even though most people respect my boundaries
Mhm.
and I theirs. I love my kids and I love speaking with them, but I don't have to, I mean, not two of them don't even live near here, but I don't have to see them all the time. I don't have to speak to them every minute.
Right.
I just had a situation where out of the blue, I get this call from somebody I knew decades ago. Hadn't heard from her. Oh, hi, how are you? And she goes, yabba, 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 yabba. And then I called her back and said, listen, I can't talk now. I'll get back to you. And then she sends me, she calls me again. Luckily, not my cell or my business line, because I don't even know how she got my number. And, it's like, she says she's this, she's this, she's this. Maybe you can help me, maybe. And all of a sudden, the bell went off. And I thought, I think she wants something from me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she knew I worked at the New Yorker years ago. So my sense is she wanted something, out of nowhere when somebody says, maybe you can help me. What? Decades later? Well, it's, and I thought, you know what? I am not calling her back. I don't think I want that person in my life.
You are stepping on my boundary. Yes, yes.
Right. I mean,
That's
who does that?
many people do that. It's just, and at times I'm envious. It's nothing I would ever consider doing, but good for them if they have the moxie. And that what is it? Our friend Bernie used to always go, you don't get if you don't ask. So it's like, okay, why not? Why not? But hey, let me read the quote, because it spoke differently to me. It was like,
Okay.
a boundary is something you set that requires nothing of the other person. So that to me is, it's like, okay, normally I would say, I'm going to set this boundary and I hope they don't mess up. But it's like, it's okay, they can mess up. It's on me to reinforce the boundary, just like you realized. Um, that boundary belongs to me. They don't know what the boundary is, but it's up to me to say, you know what, that's something that I wouldn't do, or I don't feel comfortable doing that, or just don't call them back.
But
That's the easy way.
there's nothing I can do.
Yeah,
So it's not
exactly.
even and I'm pretty good at trying to help people. I
Yes.
really
Mhm.
am.
Yeah.
But this was, I
Too
don't know,
much.
a signal went off in my head. So I
Yeah,
kind of let it go.
and sometimes you go, now what took me so long to figure that one out? It's
Yeah.
like we knew something was wrong when you heard the call. It's like, what's going on there? Another one
Oh,
that spoke to me, or wait a second, I don't know who's true. I'll do it, and then yeah, no, was, if everyone is driving you crazy, then the feeling is probably mutual.
Yeah.
And just, have you had those? I've had days, I've had weeks where it's like, God, everybody's getting on my nerves. What's going on? And it's like, you know what? It could be me. I'm gonna, where we say we're taking responsibility, it could be me. And that's kind of like a little wake-up call. It's like, okay, if you there justifiably there are people who are gonna get on your nerves for sure. But if everybody's getting on your nerves, there's a chance that it could be you.
You're right.
It could
That's
be like
that's
you're
true.
just interpreting the thing, everything's coming at you, and you're going, I don't know. I'm interpreting this like you're really being a pain in the butt. I don't really want to do that. So I that one was like, oh, I got to remember that when
Ah,
once
yeah.
I'll forget it. But if I a couple people are doing it, it's like, it's probably me. Darn it.
Yeah. Certainly one that has always been, and it's, there are many things I can't control. That one, but I can
Yeah.
control how I do or don't respond. I can't control others' thoughts of me.
Yeah.
And my husband always says you always need closure, on something.
Yeah.
But it's true. And we tell our clients that we can't control if somebody likes you or doesn't like you, or what they say or what they do or how they show up. There's nothing we can do. We can only do us
Mhm.
and our emotions. And the only thing we can control is ourselves.
And
And
that
that's a
that is
good
such,
reminder.
yeah, that is such a good coaching, and we all try to do that. But easier coached than actually executing it for yourself. But it's like, yeah, whatever's out there. I mean, you can, and there's a Facebook thing where there's a figure in the sand, and one guy on one side's going, no, that's a six, and the other guy going, no, it's a nine, and they're both right. And it's just a matter of how you're looking at it, what your location is, what your experience is. And so you can only take responsibility for your perspective. Now, if we go back to that other um, advice that we like, then you can partner with the person and go, why? Why do you think that's a six? When it's really, I'm looking at it as a nine. And it could be a whole different mind expanding thing, or it could just be, they're really not that bright, but okay. But at least you partnered with with the person to do that. Yeah, that's
You
such
know,
a good coaching experience and so hard to follow for me anyway.
so many of these that we've described, and you can look at it with
Yeah.
two sets of eyes, either a growth mindset where, okay, this is or isn't going to work for me as I think
Mhm.
about 2024, and what do I want to have happen to me? How do I want to grow? How do I want to reset that button?
Yeah.
So, what am I looking towards for the new year? And what what's going to help me? What are the tools that I have?
Mhm.
Or what's not going to help me? And I got to leave it on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so many of these can be looked at. How do I want to look at this? Growth mindset, like we're talking about, or fixed mindset, where nothing gets done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's perspective is so important, and
Mm,
that's a lot of what coaches do. They try to expand your perspective and broaden your horizons, and just let you know that it's not all about you. It's you're part of a big humanity thing, and so that just you have to leave room for other people, and that's if you can keep that in mind, I think it's easier to respond um for it's like, okay, this is just to remember, this is me and that's you, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything, but it's like, okay, and then if you need to set a boundary, I keep going back to that one, I like that. It's like, okay, well, I will, I will allow this much, but I can't allow you to, like for me, racism. And I don't, I could probably make myself respond better, but I don't. It's like, that's my boundary. It's like, nah, I don't want to listen to that, you know? And I don't want to teach you either. I just don't want to be bothered with it. So it's okay. If that's what you are, that's what you are. But so, you know, so I think you have to, it's also you distinguish. It's like, do I want to tolerate this? Do I want to grow? Or do I want to just, like you said, eliminate this from my life and keep moving on and up? Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff going on. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I love this thing that the New York Times did. And so, oh, we're going to cheat. We're going to copy the whole idea. So did you get any great advice this year? Or no, not this year. It's a little too soon. Maybe, but did you get any great advice last year?
Um, you know, what I felt good about is I've had some health issues.
Hmm.
You know, I got really bad COVID in 22, and I've had long-term COVID and other things that have
Yeah.
triggered everything else. And I had a great support system,
Oh, nice.
and it really helped me. I didn't lay in bed, although I wanted to. It really helped me to get up, do my podcasts, do my work, um, coach,
Hmm.
even though a lot of the times I felt pretty crappy, to say the least. But and that made me feel really good. I had like a little cheering section.
So that's good.
And
So support
mhm,
is
mhm,
yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Which I guess support is a kind of advice. Yeah, I guess it's certainly something that inspires you and keeps you going and picks you up when you're down and all of that stuff. So I guess that would definitely qualify.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Well, mine is health related too, and I'm in the middle of it, in the middle of it. But I was my doctor asked me to do a test, which I didn't like. It's like a cardiac catheterization, just to make sure my heart's doing okay. Although he keeps saying, "No, your heart's okay, but I want you to do this test." So I had. And it was like everybody was rushing to sign me up for this cardiac catheterization. And it's supposed to be a 45-minute procedure, but you stay in the hospital for 6 to 8 hours, so it can't be that easy. And I have a friend, this is going to sound so woo-woo, but I allow all opportunity. I have a friend down in Miami who has studied many, many years, Judith Costa, I'm going to call her out, to do the Akashic records. And the Akashic records, I don't understand, I won't pretend I do, are supposedly the records of life. And she had offered to her clients and her friends an Akashic circle where everybody got to ask one question. And so I said, let me do that. You know, it was on Zoom and we did that. And so when it came to my turn, of course, it was about this procedure that was driving me crazy. And I said, well, I have this procedure that I have to get done. And she goes, I have to stop you right now. I'm hearing no, no, no. And I went, oh, okay. And she goes, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And I'm going, okay. And then she had I'll call him a disciple, I guess, a person who's studying under her. And he goes, yeah, I'm getting that too. And I'm going, okay. So she goes, but then she further explained, she goes, not now. She goes, you need to do more research. You need to see what this is all about. And I went, so I didn't, I canceled the procedure. I was supposed to do it the day after Christmas. Fun time. And I canceled the procedure. As a result, I found another health issue that had to be dealt with before I did that. And it was like, that was really good advice. It's like, when somebody tells you health, and I know you've been dealing with health all year too, you go, okay, what can I do to fix this? Tell me right now. Let's get it done right now. But it's like, okay, take a deep breath and find out a little bit more because, and I'm gonna do the procedure, much to my dismay. But it was really better that I took care of some of the other issues that popped up in the blood test for the procedure. So that was good advice. It's like, okay, why are you rushing? You didn't even know about this 2 weeks ago, and now suddenly I got to do this procedure. So I'm going to say that was great advice from
Mm,
whatever the Akashic records are. Thank you, because it did get the sequence right. You know, it
Mm-hmm,
was like I was
mm-hmm.
doing this first, and then that would have had so so that was some cool advice. I'm going to say from the universe or whatever, from Judas,
Sure.
the universe and Judas. So yeah, so mine was kind of health related too, but just slow
Yes.
down. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how when it comes to our health,
Mm,
there are those that ignore it and don't want to know about it. And it either winds up okay for them or not okay for them.
yeah,
Um, or, we just go in and do what we need to do.
right.
And
Uh,
you know, that's just what you do, even though you don't want to. You'd rather be sunning on a beach
yes,
than
yes.
doing that. But I think we all have to look at our surroundings and see, gee, what do I want to control for 2024?
Well, and that's so interesting, and this is definitely fodder for another show. But um, I wonder because when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, it was a matter of 6 months before he passed away. And it was like everybody goes, "Oh, if he just caught it earlier." But those 6 months were pretty damn miserable, you know? And it's like, if we caught it earlier, would we have had a year and a half of misery? I don't know. I don't know. And I think it's just what you said. It's a gut feeling. You've got to listen to what your body and your gut is telling you, and then throw in a little mind stuff from the doctors and things like that. But I just don't know the benefit of, I don't know, what's what would have been, I still don't. It's a debate that I'll never know. But would it have been better if we'd done it earlier and then gone through all the other stuff? So I don't know.
You don't know.
No, and that's it. We're not doctors, nor did we
Mhm.
choose to be. We're life coaches. We're
Yeah,
just together
right.
together here.
That's
So in our
true.
last 45 seconds,
Oh,
what you got to tell people? Anything?
2024 is an open road.
Yes, yes.
If you're going to take the same road as last year, you'll see the same old scenery.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Go
Find
down
a
a
different
different
route.
road and get
Yeah.
new scenery, whatever that is. The road is open.
Mm.
Go do it. Do it today. Don't wait till next month or whatever.
And
Start
look
it
at,
today.
yeah, and look at all the experience you have under your belt from the crazy 20, 21, 22,
Oh,
all
God.
of that.
You're
So
right.
somebody said in numerology, it's an 8 year, which is the infinity symbol. So go for it.
Oh,
Isn't that
okay.
great? I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, All right,
absolutely.
Miss Terry. Well, we're going to hang in there in 2024,
We
and
are.
we will
Happy
see
New
you.
Year.
Happy New
Happy,
Year.
healthy.
We'll see you next month.
We will.
Bye bye.
Bye.